Rich Shea here, unboxing Cytosis, 2nd edition, a cell biology game, designed by John Coveyou, published by, who was that published by? Genius Games. I get to try the first edition in 2017 at Origins, and I really liked it, but they'd already sold out of them. Would have picked it up, but it's probably just as well that I waited. So back in the day, my undergraduate degree is in biology, which at the school I went to meant it was in cell and molecular biology. I was splicing genes with stone tools back in the day before it was important. There's an expansion available. Here's the rule book. The science in this is surprisingly good. So you're basically, you have a 2-player variant. There's a lot of components, mostly cards, cardboard stuff, flasks for the players to represent their actions. That's sort of your workers for worker placement. It is a worker placement game. There's macromolecules, mRNA, protein, carbohydrates, lipids, some multipliers in case you run out. There's a game board, event cards that modify how each turn works, gold cards, which are bonus things. They're available to everybody, but the first player does better, the second player gets it, and after that, the other players cannot use those gold cards. A couple of gray flasks. You set up the game. It's a little bit different based on the number of players and the number of flasks that you get, which is turns per round. You have to transport some of your... So basically, you're transporting molecules around to get the finished products, which are basically cards that you get from down here. They score points. Some of the cards also give you other capabilities or bonus points at the end. There's things going on. The rules are fairly well explained, a fair number of pictures, and the science is not explained inside here particularly, but there are things going on, and some of the interactions are a little complicated, but that's because they're sort of represent cell biology, which can be a little complicated. Anyway, so that's nice. There's 2-player modifications to the rules, a game end, bonus points, things you'd expect, a 1-page summary on the end, which is nice. The science behind the game. So there's a 4-page insert that also talks about the virus expansion, about the science that goes on. Obviously, this is very brief. The science here can be easily represented in a 600-page book. There are cardboard items. This is ATP, adenosine triphosphate, which is sort of the Energizer Bunny stuff for what goes on in the cell. Those are multiplier cards for multiple things. These are the little transport vesicles that carry the cubes for each player as they travel through the cell from near the nucleus to the cell membrane. So here's the board. I think this is, there's a regular side, and then there's, I think this is going to be, yeah, the 2-player side with fewer options. The board represents a cell. Can we see it all here? Yeah, we got it all on screen. From the nucleus, rough endoplasmic reticulum, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, some things that you do. Gray flasks, if I remember correctly, you have to pay extra for them, but they let you take an action that somebody else has already used up. Being a worker placement game, there are a limited number of spaces available. And like this is making ATP. First person gets 3, second person only gets 2. You can buy more by throwing in a carbohydrate, then you get 6, but there's only 1 space available for that. The cards that you can get are here, and it's a sort of typical slide down card auction. This card, to select this card as an action, is free, and there's 1 spot for each card. This one will cost you an ATP, 2 ATP, 3 ATP, and then as they get used, they slide down and more appear. I think that probably explains that well enough. The rest of the components are lots of bags, wood. The players get Erlenmeyer flasks in their color to represent their actions. Very cute. There are gray ones to represent those special actions you can get. Some markers in the player's colors, mostly for the victory point track, and I can't remember what the others are for, but there are some. And 4 kinds of cubes representing the raw materials, some of which are produced by converting other cubes. The rest of the components are cards, which are actually, shouldn't say they're easy to take out because I immediately didn't get the ribbon to come all the way around. So things that you make, steroid hormone, it says where it starts. Here's the cost, 4 ATP, 3 lipids, and I think it's carbohydrate, and health points. That's what you score at the end of the game. So when you do that, that happens. There's a little bit of set collection, steroid hormone receptors. When other people make steroid hormones, you're going to score points. 2 points if other people make them, 1 point if you make them. Protein hormones, protein hormone receptors, same thing. Bonus points once you have this when other people make the hormones. Then there's other things, enzymes. Enzymes are a set collection thing. At the end of, they're 4 health each, but at the end of the game you get bonus points up to 14 depending on how many enzymes you have at the end of the game. Carbohydrates just let you basically collect things by getting the card. Lipids, so some of these just give you more resources when you take the card. Obviously you don't want to, well, it depends on what you need. Alcohol detoxification gives you 1 health, but there are bonus points at the end of the game for having more of them than somebody else. Apparently our cells belong to drinker. Then there are the event cards, like Nucleus Boost. Add 1 additional mRNA cube to the nucleus this round. So whenever you take one of those, you get an extra one. And it goes like that, and there's enough for the game. There are boosts to different things. Then there are goals, like gain an additional 2 points for each steroid hormone you completed in the game. The first person to select this goal is also going to get 3 points. The next person's not going to get any points, but they get the end game goal, and the other players can't select that. There'll be 4 out of the 6 goals in the game. It's changing it up a little bit. And obviously, you can't hog them all because you can only take 2 of them. Oh, that's what the extra markers are for. 1's for your points, 2 are for the bonuses that you take. You can only take 2 of the bonuses during the game. So there's enough for everyone. And those are pretty much the components. It's a pretty standard worker placement game with a unique flow. As you make things, you start by collecting what you need up here or here. Then you move down to one of these spaces, make the Golgi apparatus transformation. Then you take one of these spaces to move it outside the plasma membrane. That's how most of these things happen. Some of the other actions, collecting resources, transforming resources, and just making enzymes, which doesn't use the same process here, right? Are spaces that you can select. So once you get it down, it's pretty straightforward. It's based on the way cell biology really works, obviously greatly simplified. And I think it's a lot of fun. It's a fun game. Plays actually in 60 to 90 minutes. Well, thanks for watching this unboxing. As you know, I'm involved in the Meeple League, meepleleague.com, where we try to advance competitive gameplay of board games at different events. You can look at that. And we also have some online league play that you can also find out about at mapleleague.com. Again, thanks for watching, and watch for more unboxings. Have a bunch of games stacked up right now that I want to do this for before I take them out and play. Bye for now.